All right, beautiful. Welcome, everybody. This is our weekly brand audit call. So, for those of you who are new, what we do every single week is we go and get members out of the group. We take up their websites and we show you specifically how you need to improve your branding if you want to increase your sales. A lot of people kind of overlook branding and how impactful it is in terms of actually increasing your sales. A lot of people just think traffic or website conversion rate is what you need to go after, but actually branding is one of the most important things. It's something that we really harp on here with Insightful, the e-commerce circle in this group. So what we typically do is we'll get people out of the group to participate, but unfortunately we had some late pullouts today. So what we'll do for everyone is we're actually going to have Chris go through some brands that we've hand selected that look like they are doing pretty well. We're Googling these brands, but there are always ways you can improve your branding, and it's just going to help you connect with the audience and essentially make more sales. So if you're watching, go ahead, leave a comment. If you want to jump in, I'll give you the link and you can just jump in if you have a website with a brand that you want us to audit, and we can get you on board for that. Otherwise, just stay tuned and we'll go through some of these with you right now. So Chris, let's just jump into it.
Cool. So just quickly, let's have a look at our model, our method for auditing brands, right? And this is the simplified version. When we do this for real with clients, we go through it's about a 28-step process that we go through. So it's very, very detailed, but essentially this is the high level. So when I'm looking at these sites, these are the main things that I'm looking at, right? So these are what we call the 4 brand pillars. And if you think of a building that has 4 pillars or a tabletop, right? If one of these pillars is unbalanced, the whole tabletop doesn't stand up anymore, right? So we need all 4 of these things to stabilize your business. So what we look at is you, your presence, your audience, and your uniqueness. So what do we mean by that? So this is you, the business owner. This is your personal value system. This is what you contribute to the business. This is your team, right? At some point in your business, someone's going to buy something, call you up, get asked for support, right? So they're going to come in contact with you. So you might be you personally as the owner, founder, the doer of everything in the business, or it might be your team, right? But there's a component of you in the business, and particularly the brands that we work with, a lot of the brands here in the Shopify Australia group, and our wider communities are family founded, right? So it's you and your partner, it's mum and dad, it's mum and daughter, right? It's brother and sister. So it's you are the business, you are the brand. So there's a component of you that we want to see in the website. The other part is your presence. So this is all about the brand voice. How does the brand show up? What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it do? What does it give to your customer base? And that leads into the third part, your audience. We also want to be really clear when we hit the website, who's this for? And we say this every week that we do these calls, right? Who's the website for? And that's a part that a lot of e-com brands get really wrong. And they just go, oh, well, it's for anyone that wants to buy a candle. It's for anyone that wants supplements. And that might have been great 10 years ago when there was 2 supplement websites and 2 candle websites. Right now that there's 1,000 of them and the options are so variable, you need to niche down and find a specific part of the market that you can dominate. So that audience part's really important. And the last part that again comes out of that is what makes you different, what makes you unique. What's the thing that you can say, hey, nobody else does what we do in this way. Nobody else has this product range. No one else gets it to you faster than we do. What's that only statement? If you're going to say we're the only business that does XYZ, what's that XYZ? So these are the pillars that we're going to look at when we're auditing businesses. So let's go take a look at probably the most saturated industry in the world of online, and that is candles. And there's probably a few of you in the group and in the wider community that might be in the candle market or looking to get into the candle market. This is a type of product that we see all the time. Like everyone's got a candle business, right? There must be an algorithm somewhere where it says, hey, I want to start best industry to start an e-commerce business, and candles is like number 1. Candles, supplements, and drop shipping. Right. So candles is one of these places that let's have so I've just searched candles, right? And there's 1.29 million, 1.29 billion trillion, whatever that is, right? There's a shit ton of candle websites out there, right? You can see even just here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 just in the results. We've got a couple here. I mean, these are all businesses that are doing some sort of selling candles. So if you go in the candle business and go, right, I'm going to sell candles that smell nice to people that want to buy candles, how effective do you think that marketing strategy is going to be? How clear and concise is your marketing going to be? Probably it's going to be pretty wishy-washy, right? So this is why branding is so important. So I've chosen a few of these guys. So we're going to have a look at these first two. So these are sponsored, right? So these guys are running Google ads to their sites. So they're pretty confident that their sites are going to be converting a ton of traffic. Look, maybe they are, maybe they're not. I have no idea who these businesses are. Never spoken to them. I've literally just done a Google search. But these guys are spending money to send traffic to their candle stores. And then we're going to have a look at a couple of others here. So let's take a look at this first one and see on our 4 pillars. Let's see if we can identify some stuff that they could potentially be doing better.
Mm-hmm. Let's go.
If Paul was on this call on the Wednesday, I think he'd be having a panic attack right about now about how terrible this website is. But this is not.
Chris, can we just use a scorecard as well? I reckon let's just kind of go through that as well when we're doing the criteria and stuff like that. Is that possible?
Yeah, let's keep it simple for now, and then we'll take a look at the scorecard aspect. So what Chris is talking about with the scorecard, this is the way that we track metrics for businesses inside the e-com circle. So when businesses come in, we have them do a scorecard, which literally scores them out of 100% on what they're doing well and what they're doing not so well across the 10 core pillars in their business, one of which is going to be their brand, their marketing, and their audience. So of those 4 pillars, when you come into the circle and you get the scorecard, we have metrics against each of those things that will tell you, hey, we're performing 50 out of 100 on our audience, or we're really, really clear. Our audience is really dialed in. We're at 90% on how clear we are. So that's the scorecard Chris is referring to, and we can go and have a look at that at the end of it. But it is a little bit more detailed. So for right now, we're just going to go with the high level kind of top 4 here, so it can kind of give you an idea of at least generally where these sites might be performing well or where they might be going wrong. So I mean, from a pure design aspect, having this text butted right up against the banner and having like 1,000 options in the banner here, and this is a conversion rate nightmare. So if these people happen to be in the community, hey, feel free to jump on and or watch this later. So from a branding perspective, can anyone tell me what might be wrong from a brand perspective in this site? So pretty much of our 4 pillars, right? Who runs this website? Don't really know.
No idea.
What's the brand about? Right? What's their
we just see collections and Afterpay. Collections and Afterpay.
They've got Afterpay. They've got some diffuse. They've got mystery boxes, and then they've just got a ton of candles. So like, we don't really know who runs this site. This could just be 3PL drop shipping out of China. This could be. It's pretty faceless, right? So from the U perspective, for right now, I'm going to give them about a 2. So now let's move into presence. So from a brand presence, really the brand doesn't have much presence here. It's really relying on the products that it's selling. There's no real conviction of what is this brand, right? If you go to the Kmart website, the Target website, the Nike website, you feel the brand, you know where you are. I've got a logo here, luxury candle supplies. The name's fine. It tells me that it's luxury candles. But I mean, does this look like luxury? Do these boxes look like, luxury candles? This is pretty cartoony. They kind of got random kind of stock images in here. So the brand correlation, the presence, luxury candle supplies, I'm expecting high-end candles. I'm expecting a high-end design. I'm expecting a certain vibe, right? So my expectation is not met. So I'm going to give them about a 1 for their presence. So third pillar, let's look at their audience. So who are these candles for?
No idea. Literally can't see anything.
So I mean, let's make some guesses. Wholesale candle making supplies. So maybe they're targeting. I'm assuming they're targeting wholesales who want to make candles, and they're the largest distributor, and they ship worldwide daily. But,
Yeah.
okay, so let's assume that they're targeting wholesalers with candle supplies. But again, there's nothing else on this website that tells me anything about, hey, if you're a candle business and you want the best quality luxury things, right? Candle supplies to make the best thing, you're in the right place. Yeah, Lockie, our meta ads expert, he'd be bouncing from this as soon as it loads. And I thought the same thing, and that's why we're spending a bit of time here, right? Because this is not an uncommon website. So for anyone that's looking at this going, yeah, this looks kind of horrendous. There's a lot of people, a lot of businesses, a lot of sites that we see that are kind of this horrendous, where people have, right, you haven't done any brand strategy. Your brand strategy is, I got a business name, I got a logo, I've downloaded the Dawn theme, or I've downloaded a free theme from Shopify, and I've got a website, and I've whacked some stuff in there, and I've put a bit of text on it and put some products in it, and I got Afterpay. And that's the entirety of your brand strategy. And this is what that ends up looking like, right? And as a lot of people here are saying, you wouldn't shop from this store. And these guys are running, again, remember, these guys are running paid traffic to this website, right? So far, on the third part of audience, I'll give them a 3, because at least they've identified wholesale candle making supplies.
Yeah.
Again, but I mean that's pretty high, because again, we're coming to luxury candle supplies, and then we're talking about wholesale candle making, right? If this site was called wholesale candle supplies instead of luxury candle supplies, there'd be that brand connection, right? So the brand disconnect's pretty huge here. Not only does it not look premium, but also doesn't connect to the brand name even. So what's Paul say? Wholesales who don't want to pay today. Hence the giant Afterpay image. Yeah, that's it. So there's a lot of confusion in the brand here. So let's look at pillar 4. Pillar 4 is, what's their uniqueness? Anyone? Bueller?
They got luxury here. That's about, but like that is about as much as I can say in terms of uniqueness.
They've got some diffusers. So I mean, let's assume that these are really, really cool and nobody else supplies these, and these are an amazing product. They don't tell you that. They just say this is a featured product. So I say this a lot, and this is when someone comes to your website and they're trying to shop your business, you want to assume that they're time poor and stupid. And I mean that in the sense of, they're time poor. They don't have the time to go through your entire website, right? Go through your whole navigation, work and go, okay, account, register, contact, customization. So like, they've got to figure out what you do. They're going to bounce, right? People are time poor. They don't have time to figure out your business. You need to make it very, very clear, right? And people are stupid. I don't mean that every consumer is stupid, but assume that they don't know what you do. Assume that they need you to tell them exactly what your site is about, what benefits it does, who it's for, in really, really clear, simple human language. And in a couple of the next examples, there's better examples of that. So I hit the website and I go, hey, this is a website for candle makers that want the best quality products at wholesale prices. Cool, at least I know I'm in the right place if I'm a candle maker and I'm looking for good quality, cheap, good, affordable candle making supplies, which this site just doesn't do. It doesn't do any of that. So these guys are going to be losing a ton of money. Right, so let's move on. So we're going to give these guys about a 30% out of 100 on their scorecard for what they're doing here. Let's move on. Candle business number 2. All right, so these guys do soy candles. Cool. right? So at least we're clear on
something.
maybe a bit of uniqueness, right? There's a little bit of uniqueness here that at least it's not just candles, it's soy candles. Well, let's go. Let's go to the home page. That's the actual soy candles section. I may have prejudged them, but this is where their Google Ads. That's where their Google Ads sent us, right? So the Google Ads sent us to there.
Most popular product, probably.
Yeah. Okay, Palm Springs. So it seems these guys do a little bit more. Okay, all sorts of fragrances. Okay, so again, let's assume that they're doing fragrances and candles is part of that. So at least now I'm getting a bit of an idea of brand. Right, there's a bit of I've got this Palm Springs kind of vibe. It's very colorful. I've at least got a semblance of brand going on here. So we'll give them maybe a 5 or a 6 for brand in terms of at least there's something interesting happening here. They've got some really bold colors. You know, their product packaging, their images have a really cool Palm Springs kind of vibe to them. I get this, endless summer, discover fragrances that resonate with the breezy spirit of summer, invite the warmth of the season into your space and transform your home into a sanctuary of vacay-inspired bliss long after the holidays have ended. Cool. So this is another thing that a lot of brands do, right? We drop this kind of text sort of halfway down the page after we've done a bit of product. So these are kind of getting into different collections. So then they've got discover notes of buttery saffron and amber entwined with rose. So I've got this really nice kind of fruity language going on. But when we come back up, obviously they're now featuring Palm Springs range. But again, so now that I've looked through the site a bit, I now get that this is one of their collections. So revisiting the U part and the brand part, right, I get an idea of one of their collections, but I'm still not super clear on the business as a whole, right? What is Glasshouse Fragrances? Are they just a candle business, or do they do other types of fragrances? With that in mind, now that I'm looking at this, do they do whiskey decanters? Is this like incense or something? Or are these just different types of candles? This looks like a spray, like a eau de parfum, right?
It's not 100% clear if it's just candles or, yeah.
Yeah, and again, because I literally came to this website from a candle search, and now I'm checking out some more stuff about their site. I'm like, oh, okay, they do candles, but now they also do this other stuff, which isn't made super clear. Right, limited edition scents. I've got a bit of eau de parfum. I got a bit of soy candles. Then I get into these kind of nicely worded kind of collections. So that looks like a candle collection. This looks like it's more of a bit of a range. It's got some incense. Now they've introduced incense sticks, right? So these are diffuser reeds. So I got diffuser reeds. I've got eau de parfum. I've got candles. I kind of got a range of fragrance. So now I'm assuming that they're a fragrance brand, but they haven't really told me what makes their fragrance brand unique. Is it because I can get an entire range? So is the uniqueness here that I can get a whole range of stuff that smells the same? So I can get the reeds and the parfum and the candle, and every room in my house I can put a different thing, and the whole house smells similar, right? That would be a really strong proposition, but they haven't kind of given us that proposition because they're leading with selling stuff. And this is another thing that brands kind of do. You use this top panel, this banner, to do a sale, to do a clear out, to do a collection. And it's great to have a collection in here, but you've now also used your H1 tag to say Palm Springs, right? And who on Google search? I didn't search Palm Springs to find this page. I searched candles, right? Someone just searching premium diffuser reeds. They're not searching Palm Springs or celebration of sun-soaked days. So by featuring a collection in the banner rather than giving me the brand story and the brand uniqueness, you're actually wasting this from an SEO perspective and having to spend more money in things like the soy candles collection to drive traffic into the site. So look, other than that, I maybe give these guys a 60 out of 100, because at least there's some semblance of brand. But again, that clarity on, like, again, who's this for? So I'm going to give them maybe a 2 or a 3 for who it's for, right? Because they got all this fancy stuff, but is it expensive? I can't really see prices.
What's the lifestyle they're trying to emulate with it?
Yeah, like, is this for... So here's a random example, right? So this range, if I could buy all of this stuff and this was for my holiday house, right? So is this for like people that have holiday houses that want the entire house to have a certain experience? Or is this even better, like even more niched? Is this for people that own Airbnbs and they want to give their Airbnb a luxurious centered experience for everyone that comes to their Airbnb, so people come back more often? Right, and you can buy the entire collection and the whole house smells the same and it creates an experience and a vibe in the house, right? So that could be a way they could niche. But again, is this for upmarket? Is this for somebody that's cheaper that wants an upmarket experience? That kind of stuff's not too clear.
Yeah. Can I jump in for a sec, Chris?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, just to compare, because I think people can really relate to this, is if you think of like very traditional, it's really specific to the fragrance market, but can kind of prove the point. Like if you think of traditional advertising for fragrance brands, you never really see them kind of go too much into like what is in the product or anything. The branding is always about, it's always like a really attractive lady on a beachfront. It's like trying to emulate who the person wants to be. Like who they feel like they are when they have the fragrance. It's always that branding of connecting with what the person wants. It's not like really even that much about the product. It's more about that branding. Like think about like how many of those men colognes have you just got like these really, if it's a suave cologne, like they've just got these suave dudes like walking through doors into like parties, like talking to women, like that kind of thing. Like it kind of just, it mirrors the like what the audience wants to be when they use your product. And that's what they advertise.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a really interesting point, actually. I was thinking about this the other day too, and that is very, very, that is true. But there is a distinction, and this is really important. So those brands that do that have been doing that for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 100 years. So everyone knows Gucci. Everyone knows Versace. So when Versace does an ad and it's just a hot chick or a hot dude walking down the beach and they go, Essence, and that's the whole ad, right? People know the brand, so they don't have to go into like, this is our value proposition, this is why you should buy. They've done that for decades. People get the brand already. This is the thing. So now someone like these guys, right? Glasshouse Fragrances. I don't mean to shit on your brand or poo-poo your brand, but they come along and they go Palm Springs collection, Palm Beach, Bohemian. Cool, but I don't know who the brand is. Who are you? You're not Gucci. If Gucci ran this ad, they'd sell 10 million of these things because it's the Gucci Palm Springs vibe, right? I'm already into the brand and their Palm Springs collection makes sense to me. So I'm not like these Glasshouse Fragrances might have 10 million customers and they might be absolutely crushing it. And they're very, very clear and they know that this banner is going to resonate with their audience. So again, I'm coming at this from purely, I'm looking for a candle online and I hit this website. I'm not already part of your audience. But this is a thing that brands do. They go, well, Gucci does that and Nike does that and Kmart do this and Target do that. So I'm just going to have this catchy kind of really nice verbose language on my site that sounds really cool and clever, like these kind of things. Discover fragrances that resonate with the breezy spirit of summer, invite the warmth, the sanctuary of vacay-inspired bliss. I mean, this is pretty cool copy. But again, if I don't know who I'm buying from and what the brand is, it's kind of just words. So that, I think that I'm glad you brought that up because it's quite an important distinction that you aren't, as much as you can use the methodologies of those brands, you're not those brands. It's like you read the millionaire that gives you their millionaire morning routine, and they go, I'll spend 7 hours in the sauna, I'll read 400 pages, I'll walk on the beach for 6 hours, then I do red light therapy. I get on my Shakti mat, and then I meditate for 22 hours, and then I do some work for an hour. And everyone goes, oh, well, I'm just going to do that morning routine and I'm going to make $1 million. Right? That's not the thing that made them the brand, right? That's not the thing. They do that now because they are already the millionaire and they have the time to do that. So that analogy, right, that idea of those brands can get away with doing that because they've built their brand up over so many decades. A lot of smaller brands try to emulate that and they get it wrong because, again, people hit a site like this and I don't know the brand. It's just whoever brand. And if I'm not into Palm Springs, I might bounce. So is that kind of clear? Does that make sense why that's a thing?
Absolutely. I think most people would probably get that too. Yeah, look, that Gucci, it's just an example, like you use Gucci, like they've built their branding over years. My point was more like that they're connecting with what the audience desires. Yeah, I'm not saying you definitely shouldn't go up there and just do essence or anything like that. But you are connecting with the audience. You're trying to connect with who they want to be. And that they kind of reflect, you just got to do it in a different level. You're doing kind of a similar thing, just on a different level. Like you're still building those foundations. Yeah, basically what you said. You got to make sure people, they identify with your brand, and you have to build that connection with your audience.
Yeah, 100%. So again, just on that point, right? There's not a single person in this entire website.
Yeah.
So again, on like the audience, right? So they haven't said who the audience is, and then they don't even show who the audience is. Right. So is this for rich entrepreneurs? Is it for single mums? Is it for single dads? Is it for people with disposable incomes? Is it for Airbnb hosts? Again, if I at least, like Chris is saying, at least I saw somebody, there was a woman holding the candle in a really nice looking house. I go, okay, it's for someone that lives in that type of house and is that type of person. So at least visually you'd get that brand. Whereas this, I kind of get Palm Springs vibe, but kind of not who it's for. I get what it is, but not who it's for.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to candle business number 3. And then once we're done with this, maybe we can look at some other types of businesses. So we're not too sick of candles. So Hunter. So these guys look like a very, very high-end exclusive style of candle business. You know, they've got the Scent Society, candle subscriptions, bespoke. It's a very kind of clean, cool, dark vibe, cool images. But again, you know, what's different about this brand? They've got very, very cool products. You know, they're sort of gold leaf. They look pretty sophisticated. They've got this. Then as I get down the website, right, I get this, okay, we're an inner west institution. So obviously they had a retail presence, right? They got this olfactory experience that's clean, considered, and unapologetically cool. Okay, so I mean, this is again some nice language, some fancy language. But kind of, what does that mean? I get for a certain type of person, this might sort of resonate, right? And then as we get down the site, so I'm scrolling. Now I get a bit of info about the maker, right? So Vianney Hunter, she makes the candles. She's got this story, right? So I've got to go all the way down the site to kind of find this stuff rather than in the banner, like giving me a bit of that essence, at least in one of these sliders. I feel like they almost have it too. Yeah, like it's super close.
Yeah.
Like there's definitely brand here. There's definitely, at least visually, some uniqueness. There's a style, there's a vibe. There's at least a vibe to the site. So I get it. I get an essence of brand, but with a few of the right words, it'd just be like, bang, killer. Okay, I know that this is for inner Western Sydney artists, right? Or like there's certainly a vibe
down there as well.
Yeah, so like in industrial, you know, if you're going for like an industrial sort of style in your house, if you live in Newton, like Newton backyard, people that, you know, inspired by art-filled streets. So are these candles for art lovers? Candles for bringing that raw street vibe into your home? A little bit of wording on that, and then all of this visual and all of this style, I'd be like, bang, I get what this is for, rather than just tobacco coffee choc, rich and opulent. Again, these are nice words, but it's the product, right? These are product things. It's telling me what the product is. It's not giving me an essence of who the brand is or who it's for. So these guys are doing it better, and I'm going to say they've obviously got a heritage in retail, so they kind of understand this a bit more. But I just like to see a line out of this in the H1 and in the H2 that gives me this essence without me having to kind of scroll through the site, because essentially, right, you're wasting these collections. Like these are your top collections, these are your top products. I kind of have to go past that to start to get into, okay, this is for Inner West. Okay, well, I'm not in Inner West, and I don't want that vibe. Now I've just wasted the 20 seconds it's taking me to get here. So if up the top here is like, hey, if for people that want Inner West Vogue in their luxury apartments, and ignite your olfactory senses, whatever, right? At least it gives me that essence up front, and then you can give me the more detail. But I've already got a sense of, yeah, cool. This is a cool place. I'm a cool person. It's speaking my language. These are the candles for me. So then these make more sense. I go, okay, yeah, I like that flavor. Spilled sticky almond and spilled whiskey. That sounds like me. And I'm already in the headspace that this is the brand for me, rather than having to kind of get all the way down here and then go, oh, she's cool. Yeah, I'll connect with that. Not saying like this is really good to have all of this stuff, because this is the connection when somebody wants to find out more.
They've clearly done that work.
We want to like synthesize that into the top of the website, into the banner, so that people can go, cool, I'm in the right spot. This is for me. This sounds cool. I'm aligned to it. And now everything else is like gravy.
Maybe we should quickly clarify that I guess there's almost like two parts to it. There's doing like that research work to develop that branding, but there's also like presenting it. Because a lot of people we speak to, like, I've already done all the branding. I've actually gone, and maybe they have done it at a pretty decent level where you could use it, but then you go to their website and it's just not apparent. Like it's not there. So it's one thing to have it, but you have to actually use it. Like make sure that when people land in the website that they do feel that brand connection. That's the most important thing. Otherwise, it's just empty work, really. Yeah.
So even here, right, we get this. We know the perfect candle has the power to completely transform your mood, and we're obsessed with creating olfactive experiences that'll have you feeling fucking amazing, right? There's something in that's really cool, and you put that in the banner and go, hey, if you want the Inner Western vibe, an Inner Western olfactory experience that makes your house feel fucking amazing, bang, like if that's the banner, I'm in, right? Because it speaks a cool language. So this is where we talk about in pillar 2, sort of the presence, right? This language, being willing to do something like feeling effing amazing. This is bold language. This is bold brand voice. This is a tonality that immediately tells me something about the brand, but they've hidden it all the way down in the footer. But bringing this up into the banner, and I hit the website and it's got fucking cool olfactory experiences. I go, well, that's pretty cool. Okay, I'm in already because they've said something cool, rather than me having to figure out that it's a cool brand. So that's another thing, that people kind of hide this stuff down in the footer, and there's cool stuff in the site, but you kind of hide it on the about page, or you hide it in bottom of a collection page or something, right? So for a lot of brands, the stuff's there. It's just, as Chris was saying, surfacing it at the right time in the right place, rather than just launching. I mean, again, these guys are super close, but a lot of sites do this. You launch straight into product and sales. They hit the website. Here's all the stuff we've got, and it's this price, and we've got all these collections, and we've got all this stuff, which if I know you already is cool, but if I've never met you before, it's like you're trying to bang me on the first date, right? You want to set that. You like at least buy me a drink first. Let me get to know you. At least say something cool. I'm like, okay, this is a cool chick. This is a cool guy. I'm at least got a bit of an idea about what's coming next.
Yeah, cool. Just want to say, so we had a few comments from Jesse and Stephen. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We're going to go for a little bit longer in this, but if you do want to participate and you actually want your brand to be up on here, we'll have Chris, run through how it could be way better than what it already is, then just comment below. We'll get you on the live and get you in. But in the meantime, Chris, there was one that I sent through. I think it's like, I personally thought it was pretty good. Maybe you can, crap on me if it's no good. But daisygrays.com I saw, just maybe as an example of one that's like killing it. Like one that I think is like, they're presenting the brand and what they're about quite well.
Daisy Grays.
Should be in that private chat there.
Got it. So I'm just highlighting a comment for interest's sake.
Yeah.
So, I mean, let's talk about, so you have the most epic mustache. So, this is a really interesting comment, right? So this is obviously something that literally everybody that I meet mentions, right? Everyone says something about the mustache. Now, if I was a website, right, and I was giving you my brand, right, my personal brand, just having this, it's a conversation starter, gives you a bit of an idea about the type of person you're dealing with, right? So from a brand perspective, something that stands out like that, which could be a line like fucking amazing olfactory experiences. It's something cool. I go, yeah, I like the vibe of this thing. There's something here to get into. So I highlight that mustache thing as a part of brand, right? It's something that starts a conversation and kind of gives you an essence. It gives you a bit of an idea of what you're about to get into.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just bringing up Daisy Grays here, daisygrays.com. Was it com or com at you?
Just .com.
Cool.
I know we had a couple plate and cutlery brands in this group, so I'll look into those a little bit.
Alrighty. It's just loading up here.
Oh, it's taken a long time. It took me like half a second. Oh, that's a shame.
Okay. So it's loading a slider. Righto. So give us some background on this, Chris. Did you just happen across this? Is this a brand that you are aware of?
I just crossed it.
Randomly find them on the interwebs?
I just looked out for them. So I know we have some plate and cutlery brands. Yeah. Go ahead.
Cool. Okay, so there, if I can pause this thing, can I pause this thing?
That'd be great.
If I hover, okay. So I'm trying to say that they're kind of doing a good job, but then it's moving, so it's annoying me. So earth-friendly dinnerware for mini humans, change, and then it's gone, right? So they're kind of doing a good thing, and then it's moving, which is annoying, right? So they're kind of adventure seekers, right? So they're kind of giving us a bit of brand here, which is good. So earth-friendly dinnerware, that already gives me an idea that it's a sustainable brand, right? And it's dinnerware. So good. And they're giving me the who, right, for mini humans. So I love that. It's obviously for kids, but they're calling them mini humans, right? Mini humans, change makers, and adventure seekers. So now they've lost me a little bit. They're going to have to, as a brand, they're going to have to clarify that for me a bit, what the change makers bit is. So is it the same? Are they referring to the kids? Or is this for high vibe, high quality kitchen and travel essentials? Okay, so I'm guessing this is stuff that can take camping and that sort of thing. But then it's all in the house.
It's all indoor.
That's a little unforgettable adventures and good times. So see that?
That's something immediately, yeah.
Like they had me, and then now they've lost me because I'm like, adventure is outdoors, right? So is this stuff that I'm going to take camping or glamping, or do I take it with me when I take my kids out to lunch? So if they just left it at mini humans and said something cool about, it's for mini humans and it's indestructible or something like that, now it's really clear because they've now gone mini humans and these other things and kind of thrown some, are the kids the change makers and adventure seekers, or is that the parents? But that whole thing's now thrown me off of like change makers. Now is there like 3 different audiences they're trying to speak to? but then everything else that doesn't clarify the three audiences. Travel, I guess there's travel and home. And then this I can't even see, tableware. So I've got travel and home. Maybe that's what they're talking about, adventure. And then this is the mini humans, the kids stuff. And then they got tableware. So again, maybe they've got three kind of product ranges and they're trying to tie it all in together in this. But the change makers and adventure kind of throws me off a bit. So rather than adventure and change makers, again, it's a thing that sounds cool, but again, like who understands what that needs?
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean? Like, what's a change maker when it comes? Because you're talking about plates.
It sounds like they were going. Yeah. It sounds like it was going for more of a like an environmentally friendly, like stylish plates for families with like young kids. And if they stuck to that, it would be a lot clearer. But yeah, they just kind of invited that like confusion now kind of, with the wording specifically.
Yeah, so I mean, change makers as well. This is a term that's kind of thrown around for like sustainability champions, people that want to know about climate change. So being a change maker, that's probably the sustainability piece. So I kind of get it, but it's again, you've thrown in some words. Now I'm having to think, right? We've spent the last few minutes trying to think about what you're talking about, and now I'm confused about your business. Whereas you had us like mini sustainable stuff for mini humans, bang, I'm in. And now I've got to think about change makers and adventure seekers. And so adventure seekers. So again, they talk here about, we're here for unforgettable adventures. But it's all stuff for at home. As far as I can see, is it stuff that I take camping? Like it's all, something's loading here that's going to be annoying. Okay. It seems like it's kind of all home stuff.
It's all homeware.
It's homewares and plates and stuff for home. So is the adventure? That's more of like a feeling, an outcome of you have fun at home with the kids with your dinnerware. So again, it's just a thing, a word that's been thrown into the brand messaging. And this is why we focus on brand messaging in the strategy. It's just not a brand strategy. It's a brand communication strategy. And we saw this the other day actually with another client where literally someone was looking to buy from their website. One of our other clients, we were going through, it's like, I want that. It sounds really great. Got to the footer and there was just something that they said in the footer. It was one line of text in the footer and the person was about to buy and went, oh, actually that puts me off. Right. So the messaging, the words that you use, and that's kind of what we're saying. The words you use are so important, and throwing in a word like change maker and adventure has kind of distracted us from the purpose of this site. And was the same thing. It was literally like, the product's great. I'm in the right market. I would definitely buy from you. Got to the footer and it was just something that was like a legacy piece of text that they'd thrown on at some point. Basically said something like, no, we're new to the industry. We're just getting started. We're brand new. And that piece of text made them go, oh, they're new. They might not be that good then.
Yeah.
And this is kind of natural stuff to do, right? We want to tell our story, but when we position ourselves, right, that presentation part, when we present our brand and present ourselves through our business and through the words we use, you've just got to say the wrong thing in a couple places, even just one time, and people go, "Oh, I was just literally just about to click buy, and now you've put me off."
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's why having a brand messaging strategy and knowing why you're saying everything that you're saying, everywhere that you're saying it, is really important. So obviously we're not going deep into these sites, but just when we're looking at them very, we're judging the book by the cover, but that aphorism, there's actually a lot of truth in that aphorism, right? They say don't judge a book by its cover, don't judge a website by its homepage, but it's literally what we do, right? Because we're time poor, because we're just trying to shop and find something. We want to know, like, am I in the right place? I don't want to have to go through the whole site and click all the buttons and read all the text to figure out if this is the right thing for me. So this site, was pretty close. The fact that this thing's spinning really fast and I can't read all of the text, that's an issue. I would like this second page doesn't really offer anything. So I would just keep this banner and not have it rotating because this doesn't really help. This second slide. I keep here, and again, so another thing that they're potentially, and again, we're going into some other stuff to just fill in some time.
Stuff,
their H1 is Daisy Grays. So people that are visiting the website already know their brand name. So they're using their brand name, which is already all the way through the website and on the URL and everything else, as their H1 tag, where they could use earth-friendly dinnerware as their H1. And potentially their developers have re-tagged these things so that the earth-friendly dinnerware is actually an H1 tag.
H1.
They potentially, may have custom coded it. I mean, we can look at that stuff, but Paul will pick this up on the Crow stuff. So potentially, but again, Daisy Grays, we know it's Daisy Grays, right? It's literally the domain name. So I would use that bigger text, use the bigger text for your biggest message. I'd even change that, right? Where it says earth-friendly dinnerware, make that Daisy Grays and make earth-friendly dinnerware the big promise, the big thing that I see when I hit the site.
Yeah.
And then, I was loving the mini humans part, and then this stuff, as we said, kind of threw us. So
a little confusing.
Do they just kind of niche down and just focus on the mini humans thing, or is it for it's for your kids, but it's also for the house, or is it really just for the kids? And this is the clarity on the audience, right? So even though we're targeting, like the parents clearly going to buy this, but do the parents use their stuff? I mean, some of this stuff looks like what the parents would use. And this is purely a kids range. So again, they kind of getting us on the wrong foot by leading with the mini humans part as well, and showing us, and again, leading visually with clearly what's a kids range. So again, like this is the minutia of this stuff, and which one goes first, and which is the core audience, and which one buys more from you, which collections make you more money. That's all the other stuff that you get into when you get in a coaching program like the Ecom Circle, and we can figure all this stuff out. But for the purposes of today, this is kind of confusing you can see how confused we've been just looking at this stuff. Confusing your customers is poison for your website. We've seen that confusion on pretty much every site we've looked at. Something about it was confusing, whether it was a massive thing like first candle site, everyone just went, well, there's no way I'd buy from them because it just looks horrendous, to ones that are pretty close, and I just want that little thing that says, yep, I'm in the right place. But that if there's confusion, I'm gone.
Yeah, completely. It comes back to what you said about, like, obviously we're not saying this the mean way, but just act as if your audience is stupid and they need to be told, like, this is what it's for. This is you. If this is you, like, you're in the right place. Like, make sure they know very quickly that they are in the right place. Do the hard work for them. It's just going to help you out a bunch more. I reckon we've already done about 50 minutes here. So what I want to do, Chris, if you could get up this scorecard just quickly, I want to show, because we analyze your presence, your audience, your uniqueness. It all goes into something that we call the scorecard. And what we use this for is we basically use it to analyze businesses. So when we audit a business, when they start working with us, we go into there's 10 pillars to an e-commerce business. We look into every single one of them. Now, branding is one of them. It goes quite deep. And we'll just show you like why we do this scoring. If you could get that up, Chris.
Just bringing that up now.
Yeah, no worries. So you mentioned Chris saying I'll give this a 3 out of 10 or a 4 or 5 out of 10. Then it adds up to say 30%, which is altogether a 30 out of 100 score with all the things combined. The point of this is that when you are looking at your business and you're trying to figure out where is the most impact going to be for me to get into something and put that time and money into improving something, what am I going to get the most return on? That is the entire point of this. So we'll use a scorecard to analyze an entire business in these 10 different facets. And once you have that score, you'll see here it's got the scores for each little thing. We'll go into them in a second. But basically, you're gonna end up with a score that's going to show you what the most important and impactful thing is that you need to tackle next. So for a lot of these businesses, branding is going to be quite low scored. So if we can go to prospects, we can go check out one of these tabs. But if we go to one of these, and
one of the pillars we're talking about today, who's your customer?
Yeah, exactly. And you can quickly identify, like, do we know who our customer is? Do we know how they speak? Are we actually articulating this on our website, on our branding, on our socials to our audience? And we give a very, very realistic score. Now, if you add these all together and it turns out that one of these is, say, 3 out of 10 altogether, then that is a thing that you're going to have to go and tackle in your business next. And it's just going to save a bunch of time. So that's pretty much how we do this. So, for example, if we were to look at a business and say, look, the conversion rate is decent, they have an okay website, it all kind of functions nicely, they have a good product, it's profitable, they maybe know their audience, but it's just not displayed in their website properly. That's the first thing you need to tackle. It's going to be the most impactful thing for you. So I'll probably close this off, Chris, by just mentioning this scorecard. If you want to have a business analysis done for the entire business, not just the branding, we can get that done for you. All you have to do is just reach out to someone from the team and we'll help you out to kind of set this up. We can start with the branding if that's what you're really keen on, but then we can look at every single aspect of your business, and it's going to tell you where you need to pinpoint your focus on to get the most bang for your buck in terms of if you're going to put money into a service, into ads, whatever it may be. But also we have these courses. They're absolutely killer. We've just recently brought them down to $97. It's probably just for a limited time. So I'm going to link them below. We got one for branding. It's absolutely killer. It puts everything that Chris knows, everything that we teach is down to a followable course where you can just go through it. All the work that you see that we do in these lives, we do very similar stuff, but it'll be in kind of like a workshop fashion where you get to watch the video and then kind of go and do the questions yourself and kind of get these answers so you can formulate your own branding identity for your business, and then you can make sure that it's presented properly throughout your website. So if you want that course, it's $97 for a limited time. I'll link it below. Some people picked it up. They've loved it so far, which is really awesome. But other than that, I appreciate everyone joining in. If you want to be in next week, we do this every Monday. If you want to be in next week's, just message any one of us, or you'll see some of our posts throughout the week. Just comment that you're keen to have your branding done, and we'll just get you connected with the team and kind of get you on board for next week.
Awesome. Yeah, let's get some people on. So, or we'll look at supplement businesses next week or some other saturated.
the most saturated ones. All right, beautiful. All right, thank you for tuning in, everyone. Have a great week, and hopefully your Monday is going awesome already.
Thanks, everyone. Perfect. See you next week.
See ya.